And what we're doing is we're testing communications, we're testing policy decisions, we're testing our plans, and making sure that we find those gaps now under blue skies before we have to really use the plan in a real life emergency.
The clip that you saw, that you listened to, was from 6 months ago in August, when the Cocopah Emergency Operations Center was activated to participate in a nationwide exercise called Crimson Contagion. Mike Fila is head of the Cocopah Office of Emergency Management, and he spearheaded that exercise. And Mike, there's an element of irony to this and an element of foreshadowing, because the premise of that exercise back in August was that there was an international traveler from China who had contracted a highly contagious virus, and that virus was spreading very quickly. Arizona was among 12 states to participate in that exercise, and Cocopah participated in that as well. Yeah. Mike, here we are today with the coronavirus.
Yeah, so we participated in an exercise. We wanted to test our the way we're going to request resources. We wanted to test how we would staff the Emergency Operations Center if we had to open up to support this effort. We trained and tested with our local hospitals here to make sure that they had the resources that were needed in case this happened. Really what we did in that exercise was test plans and procedures in case we needed this in case something happened like this that we needed to respond to.
And you and I did live streaming. We actually did a live stream broadcast from the Emergency Operations Center so people could see what an EOC does, how it's staffed, how it's operated. And again, the irony was the same scenario that was for practice, that was a drill. Yeah. It's happening for real now. What do you think the most important lessons that we learned from August, how they apply today?
Well, we modified some of our plans to make sure if we needed to move resources into an area to support this, that we were taking that into account. So right now, remember, this is a travel-related issue. So if we're just looking at people that came from China in the last 14 days, and we're monitoring them. So there's things that we needed to make sure that we were proficient in, and like isolation and quarantine. That's something that we don't typically do every day here. So we wanted to make sure that we at least talked about it, so that if we had to do any isolation or quarantine of patients, how would we do that? So I guess it's like foreshadowing. It was,
spot on.
Spot on. I mean, if you looked right now at the spread from the airlines, it kind of looks exactly the same right now today.
Now, when we talk about preparedness and readiness and training, what level of confidence do you have in outside agencies, international public health response, compared to what we can do locally?
Well, I'd say I have a lot of faith in the public health system in the United States. I don't want to say too much about international, because the disease has gotten out of their hands. So I think in the United States we're prepared to to mitigate any of the problems that come along with this. But it's a sensitive area. You have flights being delayed into China, which is causing an economic problem right now. We have over 150 prescriptions that cannot be fulfilled in the United States because we use pieces to make those medicines from China. So right now we're having a halt on our own medication. We're having a lot of issues that are coming up because it's happening somewhere else.
These things know no boundaries.
They know no boundaries. You're right.
And when it comes to the lessons that we've learned and moving forward, what do you think the next step in readiness is going to be?
It's hard to say. I mean, like right now we're fighting a virus that we don't have a vaccination for. It's going to take months to get that vaccination. So really, what the current statement to the public is to make sure that you're getting your flu shot. If you're sick, don't go out. We have a lot of flu viruses right now that are not this COVID-19. But we're going to treat all the flu as the same,
Absolutely. And communication is a key element whenever you have a situation, whether it's a public health, whether it is a natural disaster, communication. And one of the most innovative tools that you have, and you brought this to us, is called IPAWS, Integrated Public Alert Warning System. And Cocopah is the first Native American tribe in North America to be part of the IPAWS network. And why don't you pull up your pad and talk a little bit about IPAWS and about the emergency management app that you contracted to help communicate and provide information to people, whether it's something like this or, again, a natural disaster. There's information and people need to know.
Well, that's what we want to do. Right now, if you go to the Cocopah Emergency Management Facebook page, we've been sharing information as it comes out daily on what to do. We also have this emergency management app right now, which it's getting revamped. It will be open in the store in a couple days.
Yeah, let's take a look. This is the app that you put together. So
we got bad Wi-Fi.
Oh, so it's not coming up too clearly, but it is an app that you can download from Google Play and I believe also from Apple.
From the Apple Store and Google Play, Cocopah Office of Emergency Management. Once you search that in the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, you can download that app. And we share the most current data that comes out from the CDC, which is Center for Disease Control. That's where we take all of our vetted information from and share it.
Okay. Let me take a look at my Apple phone because I have on my work phone that application, your emergency management. And I'm going to go ahead and pull that up here. And let's go ahead and take a look and see, because obviously Wi-Fi can be a little sketchy out here from time to time.
Yep.
And but it is an important app to have. Cocopah OEM. I don't know if you can see this, but we'll show close-ups of this. But this right here, it shows a category called diseases, in fact. So you click on that, and it can show you a whole list. St. Louis encephalitis, Ebola, Zika, bed bugs, dengue, hantavirus, Lyme disease. It gives you a whole menu so you can get the information you need about what's current, what's going on, including something about other emergencies, hazardous materials, and basically here on preparedness, talking about emergency plans.
And part of the update is adding the pandemic flu into that. That's part of the.
And they're going to add that to this application. Okay. And where do you see this going? The level of preparedness that we have now, and with technology, where do you see this going in the next 5 to 10 years?
It changes so frequently that I really couldn't tell you. I mean, with the IPAWS system, we have the capability to send an IPAWS alert, but like for something with the flu here, unless we were seeing cases here at Cocopah, we wouldn't use that system for this. But it's great to have that tool in our toolbox that if we needed to alert the public at a minute's notice, we could do that. Right now, we're just we have a virtual EOC open, which means that we're virtually monitoring the news and the CDC and the Arizona Department of Health and Human Services, what they're saying. Right now, we're on weekly calls with the state and the CDC, the whole state of Arizona is. We also talk to, we're also in constant communication with our healthcare coalitions, finding out what needs the hospitals are facing, what drug shortages they are. Right now, there's a mask shortage. Masks are made in China, some of them. So right now, there's a really, really big mask shortage. And the recommendations from the CDC are if you are sick, wear a mask. If you're not sick, don't wear the mask. So the mask is to prevent somebody from spreading more germs by sneezing and coughing. When you're touching surfaces, you go out to the store, You touch different surfaces. If you can clean those surfaces, like when I go to the store to go shopping, I take one of the wipes and I wipe down my cart so that I can push the cart and it's clean. Make sure that if you're touching surfaces that you're not wiping your eye, or you're touching your mouth, or people that smoke cigarettes touch the cigarette that goes in their mouth. That's a way to contract the disease.
Sure. So I guess it would be safe to say that right now you're in the phase where you're actively monitoring.
Actively monitoring. That's all we could do right now. There's a confirmed case here in Arizona. It's at ASU. That person's being monitored, but here in Yuma, we don't have any confirmed cases. So all we could do is just watch the situation, how it unfolds, and just make sure that we're prepared to act.
And the advice for the public right now, what should the public be doing?
The public should, if you haven't gotten your flu shot, you should get your flu shot. And like I said, disinfect, sanitize areas that are high traffic areas. If somebody's sick in your house, keep them, confined to the home. Don't let them go out. If they're going to school, they shouldn't go to school. A lot of people go to work, say I need to go to work. Take that sick day if you need it. Take the sick day.
Basically, common sense things that we should do during the flu.
Yeah.
During flu season, just
wash
those common
your hands
sense things.
Twice as much. All the common sense.
Okay. And that's going to do it for us, and we'll see you next week.